This woman writes, went on a great date with a guy, but haven't heard from him in almost a week. So that kind of sucks, but it's probably the case where it wasn't reciprocated. You probably were really into him. He just wasn't that into you. Usually, I mean, 5 days is what I'd really give it. You know, occasionally it'll be longer than that, but if it's longer than that, it's like his interest is probably really low towards you, if he's waiting that long. And I would say that's the case with this situation. He's got a really low level of interest. Let's see if we can pinpoint it. A little bit of a shorter post. Went on a great first date with a man. I've gone on enough dates to know if there is mutual chemistry. I question that though. I mean, look at what happened. I mean, you're saying it went great. You're saying everything's perfect, but then he doesn't text you back or doesn't even respond to you in a week. I don't know. I'd question if your skills are up to par, I guess, with what you're saying. We laughed the whole time. He walked me home, and you don't know. Yeah, it might have been an awesome date. He might have actually been into you, and you actually might have read the situation correctly, but you just don't know the context. So it's like you go on the first date, but maybe there's other women in the picture, and maybe he chose somebody else, or maybe he's got an ex involved, and that he's got some kind of emotional investment with that ex, or maybe he's on a trip and just didn't tell you, or whatever. You know, you just can't. It's easy to assume sometimes the worst, but it's like you can't really indulge in that if you want a shot with this other person. But also you have to be able to walk away and be just fine walking away and finding somebody else. Because that attachment style to really anything in life, relationships, money, results, something that you're learning, performing, it's like if you're attached to it, oftentimes it's like you just create a bunch of fear and anxiety when you're in that state. And that often leads to you performing at a lower level than actually just being present in the moment and non-attached. But it definitely could be that there's like another woman in the picture, or maybe it's a financial situation, or he just not wanting to get back into dating. You just don't know. Gave me a kiss and texted me when he got home talking about how much fun he had. Yeah, I mean, I went on a date a couple months ago and we kissed, but then it was like, we kind of just kissed because, and it was a good kiss and stuff, but it was like, I just wasn't feeling it. And so I never even messaged her after that. And so just because you kiss doesn't mean that it's a perfect connection, you know? So it's like, doesn't mean it's going to lead to success, or it doesn't mean that they're going to actually even text you back, even though it's like, it sucks. But it'd probably suck even worse if you drag this thing on, or if, you know, one of you drag it on when they're not actually interested in you, and then they just get your hopes up and crush you at a later date. So gave her a kiss and texted me when he got home talking about how much fun he had. Interesting. So I would say that he did have fun. It's like if he's going to say something like that, he probably did have fun. Me personally, I don't really do those right after text because it's like I see the importance in letting her kind of wonder and think about me, and sometimes even fantasize or just go over the date in their head and talk to their girlfriends possibly about what happened. And it's just a fun process that builds attraction when she's doing all those things, and almost restarts that space, really recharges the excitement in a lot of cases, compared to just basically having that complete certainty. It's like meaning like texting her every day and not letting her wonder about you, or wondering about where you stand or things like that. But if he is doing something like that, it's probably a straightforward thing that he actually did have fun. And so that would support, to me, that would support that there's something else going on in the picture. He texted me in the morning saying how much fun he had again, and we flirted a bit. So you're saying he hasn't messaged you in a week, but he really did right afterwards. So he just went distant and cold. Well, you can reach out to him. You always have that option. I responded also letting him know I had a great time and thanked him for taking me out. But then it's been silence ever since then for about 5 days. I'm so confused. Why don't you reach out to him? You know, it could suggest that he's not into you, but it could suggest nothing. That he's really busy and he's working on this project, and he knows if he commits to a date, then he's going to be like pulling himself away from some kind of project. If that's the case, it's like it could be so many different possibilities. You just don't know. And kind of what's your objection with reaching out to him? Are you feeling like that the guys have to chase or whatever? Is that kind of your mindset? Is that kind of the rule book you're following? I just question that. But I'd say, for sure, just reach out to him. Kind of test the waters. So comebacks, fundamentals for free in the description. Other more specific products you can get for paid. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.